This meeting of the Starkville Board of Aldermen will now come to order. Please rise for the saying of the Pledge of Allegiance, after which Alderman Vaughn will lead us in a word of prayer, and we'll observe a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our God and our Father and our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Father God, again, here's a few of your servants. Most of all, this mayor and this board come before you again, thanking you so much, Father God, for what you allowed us to achieve. Thank you for so much for where you're taking this city. Thanking you for using us. And we pray now, God, that you will please have mercy on us as we continue to take this city in the direction that you want us to go. Father God, we praise you, we honor you, we glorify you, we magnify your name. Because 1 John 3:1 says, see what love the Father given us, that we all be called children of God, and so we are. Lord, Psalm 129:4 says, the Lord is righteous. He hath cut me free from the court of the wicked. Father, bless us to stand firm in whatever task that you have before us. Isaiah 41:13 says, I am the Lord thy God, to take hold of your right hand. Say to you, fear not, I will help. Father, we give you our right hand, that you will lead us past the enemies. Father God, that we will continue to stay on this battlefield, doing the things that you want us to do, the things that will please you. And then, Father, when it come down to the end of our days, you will be pleased with the good work that we have done before you. We thank you. We give all praise and honor and glory to you because of who you are and where you are. We thank you so much for being our God and we're your servants. Thank you for controlling our destiny, not leaving us in the hand of no man. It is in the mighty name of Jesus Christ we do pray. Amen. Amen.
You have before you a copy of the written agenda. I have one request that has been passed along to me by the clerk. Item 11L1 was placed on the agenda in error. Without objection, I'll remove that item from the agenda. That is the request for authorization of a second addendum to an amended wastewater services contract. Without objection, that item will be removed from the agenda. Any objection? Any objection? Seeing none, that item's been removed from the agenda. Are there any proposed revisions to the agenda from the members of the board? Alderman Perkins.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the agenda be approved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Perkins to approve the agenda as revised. Alderman Perkins, is that your motion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Do I hear a second? Hold on, I got to hear a second first. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Perkins, you wish to speak on the matter?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Any discussion? Alderman Nguyen.
I wanted to remove item 10D, on page 3 from the agenda. And what I was going to do, Mayor, I don't want to do a motion, but in 2013 when we took office, until we implemented the chaplain program, Alderman Vaughn always rendered the prayer for our board. So what I would like to see now is that the chaplains render prayer before our board meetings at the regular board meetings, and Alderman Vaughn do that for the recess board meetings. If all members of the board agree to that, I want to have a motion.
Do you wish to propose an amendment to Alderman Perkins' motion to approve the agenda, striking item 10D?
Yes.
All right, do I hear a second? Second. Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Nguyen, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No.
Discussion on the amendment to Alderman Perkins' motion, which will strike item 10D, the discussion and approval for a board-approved chaplain of the SPD to provide a prayer. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. We're now back in discussion on the main motion, which is to approve the agenda as revised. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. You now have before you the proposed approval of the February 16th, 2016 minutes of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen.
Move approval, Mr. Mayor.
Motion has been made by Alderman Perkins to approve of the minutes of the February 16th, 2016 meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville, Mississippi, incorporating any and all changes as recommended by the city attorney, otherwise as presented. Alderman Perkins, that's your motion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Perkins, you wish to speak on the matter?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter you have before you is consideration of the minutes from March 1st, 2016.
Move approval, Mr. Mayor.
Motion has been made by Alderman Perkins to approve of the minutes of the March 1st, 2016 meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville, Mississippi, incorporating any and all changes as recommended by the city attorney, otherwise as presented. Alderman Perkins, that's your motion?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Perkins, you wish to speak on the matter?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Discussion. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. We'll now move into announcements and comments by the mayor and members of the board. And I have several new employee introductions that I will make tonight. First, I would like to announce that our next Coffee with a Cop event will be this Thursday, April 7th at 7 a.m. at 929 Coffee Bar located at 106 East Main Street. This is an opportunity for the public to come and interact with members of your police force, ask questions, provide feedback. This is intended to be time for you to interact with the men and women who serve in the Starkville Police Department. I would now like to introduce, we'll start with our police officers, our newest police officers. I'd first like to introduce Scott Caldwell. Scott is originally from Tupelo, Mississippi, and graduated from Shannon High School. Scott received an associate's degree in computer programming technology from Itawamba Community College. He also attended Mississippi State University and majored in criminology. Scott previously worked as a foreman for Mississippi State University Event Services. Scott enjoys spending time with his parents, Daryl and Jennifer Caldwell, brother Zach, and his German Shepherd named Axel. When time permits, Scott enjoys hunting, going to the shooting range, and the gym. At the moment, Scott is currently seeking a local church to attend in Starkville, but still attends his home church of Tupelo Free Will Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Scott Caldwell. I'd now like to introduce Charles Jordan. Charles Jordan is originally from Kankakee, Illinois, but grew up in Starkville. He is a graduate of Starkville High School. He also attended Mississippi State University. Prior to joining the city of Starkville, Charles was an account service representative at C Spire Wireless. Charles and his wife, Alicia, are the proud parents of 3 children, Jayla, Javius, and Jaquez. During his free time, Charles enjoys fishing, reading, weight training, cooking, spending time with his family, and German Shepherd, Germany. Charles and his family attend St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Charles. Next, I'd like to introduce Stephen Muse. Stephen is originally from San Antonio, Texas, and is a graduate of Coronado High School. He attended Itawamba Community College, where he majored in communications. Stephen is currently a member of the Mississippi Air Guard. During his spare time, Stephen enjoys working out, boxing, and reading. Stephen and his wife, Gemma Ventura Marino, Ventura Marino, dad Mike Muse, and brother Margot Berlanga, brothers Mario Robert and Ethan attend St. James Catholic Church. Please join me in welcoming Stephen. I'd next like to introduce Quentin Salisbury. Quentin Salisbury is from Independence, Mississippi, and is a graduate of Independence High School. He earned a Bachelor of Science degree from Mississippi State University, majoring in interdisciplinary studies. Previously, Quentin worked for the Tate County Sheriff's Department as a jail officer. Quentin is the son of Jesse Salisbury and Pat Cleveland and is married to Adrian. When time permits, Quentin enjoys watching football and listening to music. He and his family attend West Loxahoma Church of Christ in Senatobia, Mississippi. Please join me in welcoming Quentin. I'd now like to introduce Gary Wheeler. Gary is originally from Glendale, Arizona, and is a graduate of Summit Christian School. He also has a degree in communications, electronic journalism from Belhaven University. Before joining the city of Starkville, Gary worked for Clark Environmental as a marsh technician. Gary is the son of Terry and Marquell Wheeler and has two brothers, Robert and Keith. When Gary isn't busy, he enjoys hunting, fishing, and spending time with his black Labrador, Sadie. Gary is a member of Lake Worth First Church of Nazarene. Please join me in welcoming Gary Wheeler. I'd now like to introduce our newest firefighters. First, allow me to introduce Stephen Garcia. Stephen is originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and is a graduate of Sacred Heart High School. He attended Mississippi State University. Stephen worked for the Army-Navy Pawn Shop as a salesman. He is the son of Stephen and Catherine Garcia and has one brother, Christopher. Stephen enjoys tactical gear and military training and spending time with his girlfriend, Caroline Douglas. He attends St. Joseph's Catholic Church. Please join me in welcoming Stephen. Next, I'd like to introduce Ryan Shaw. Ryan is from Clarksdale, Mississippi, and is a graduate of Clarksdale High School. He attended Coahoma Community College, Mississippi State University, and the University of Southern Mississippi, where he majored in criminal justice. Ryan previously worked for the city of Hattiesburg. Ryan is the son of Daryl Jenkins and Tori Shaw. He enjoys playing football, bowling, reading, and spending time with his family and friends. Ryan and his family attend St. James Baptist Church in Clarksdale. Please join me in welcoming Ryan. Next, I'd like to introduce Christian Twilley. Christian is originally from Jacksonville, Florida, and is a graduate of Long Beach High School in Long Beach, Mississippi. He attended Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, where he majored in engineering. Before joining the city of Starkville, Christian worked for A&C Industrial as a pipe layer. Christian's family includes dad, Cedric Twilley Sr., mother, Laurie Blanchard, brother, Cedric Jr., and sisters, Chastity, Christina, and Crystal. He is a proud father of a daughter, Kinsey. Christian enjoys fishing, playing sports, and spending time with his family. He is currently seeking a local church in Starkville to attend. Please join me in welcoming Christian. I'd now like to introduce the newest employees in the Sanitation and Environmental Services Department.
Information technology.
First, allow me to introduce Corey Bell. Corey is originally from Starkville and a graduate of West Oktibbeha County High School. He attended East Mississippi Community College. Corey previously worked at Obie's as a dishwasher and worked temporary for Mississippi State University. He is the son of Myra Carter and Dwayne Bell. He has a sister Audrey Bell and a brother Tay Bell. Corey attends Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Corey Bell. Next, I'd like to introduce Dallas Miles. Dallas is from Mabin and is a graduate of Mabin High School. He enjoys playing with his pit bull Max and spending time with his family and friends. Please join me in welcoming Dallas. Next, I'd like to introduce Marcus Smith. Marcus is from Starkville and is a graduate of Starkville High School. He attended East Mississippi Community College, where he studied auto mechanics. Before joining the city of Starkville, Marcus worked as a cook for Petty's Barbecue. Marcus's family includes his dad, Elmer Cooper, mother, Lucy Smith, brother, Milton, and sister, Megan. Marcus is a proud father of daughter, Kira Smith. In his spare time, Marcus enjoys football, baseball, hunting, fishing, spending time with his girlfriend, Patrice Lomax, and his pit bull, Riley. Marcus attends Second Baptist Church in Starkville. Please join me in welcoming Marcus Smith. Next, I'd like to introduce Calvin Lee Edmonds. Calvin Lee Edmonds is from Starkville and is a graduate of Henderson High School. He recently attended Cornerstone Ministry School in Townsend, Georgia. Previously, he worked for Morgan Construction. Calvin Lee and his wife Bella are the proud parents of a son, Willie, and a daughter, Island. Aaliyah. I'm sorry. When time permits, Calvin Lee enjoys fishing, camping out, playing with his dog Lucky, and spending time with his family. He and his family are members of New Prairie Missionary Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Calvin Lee. Next, I'd like to introduce Jamal Jones. Jamal is from Starkville and is a graduate of Moore High School. He worked as a landscaper for Circle B Landscape before joining the city of Starkville. Jamal is the son of Karen Jones and is the proud father of daughter Zyteria Johnson. In his free time, Jamal enjoys fishing, watching sports of all kinds. He attends 16th Section Missionary Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Jamal Jones. And finally, I'd like to introduce our newest member of the information technology team. Roderick Eddy is from Okolona, Mississippi, and is a graduate of Okolona High School. He attended Northeast Community College and the University of Southern Mississippi, where he graduated in computer science and information technology networking. He formerly worked as a fiber-to-the-home technician for C Spire. Roderick is the son of Eliza and Dinah Eddy. He has two brothers, Lenoris and Andre. He and his wife, Charday, recently welcomed a daughter, Riley. Roderick enjoys playing pool, going to the movies, playing with his Pomeranian, Mufasa, and spending time with his family. He attends Chapel Grove, East Missionary Baptist Church, and Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. Please join me in welcoming Roderick Eddy. And that concludes my comments this evening. Are there any comments from the members of the board? Alderman Nguyen.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I would like to recognize Pastor Buckner, who is visiting us tonight, and he is not in his official role as a chaplain tonight. Good evening to you, Pastor Buckner. Mrs. Stephanie Halbert, will you please come to the front along with Mr. Herman Peters? And Mr. Peters, will you just step back just for a minute? Ms. Halbert, on March 24th, 2016, our city employees had their first annual Employee Appreciation Day. It was wonderful. More than probably 225 of our employees were in attendance there, and several of our department heads pitched in to make that a success for you. So Mr. Kemp and the fire chief were serving up cake like they were at a reception. It was wonderful. Miss Gandy, Alderman Carver. I looked on the news because I was a little late getting there because myself, the city engineer, and Mr. Developer Buddy Sanders, I was in the mayor initially with the mayor. And I looked on TV and saw them there. And I noticed, that the vice mayor was also in attendance there. So, and for our board members that did not come and were not in attendance, this was some great fellowship for those 2 hours, when you agree, Mr. Mayor, for our employees. When you called me up, and you only had about 2 weeks to put that together, and I said, what are you going to serve for them? And you said some cake and punch. people don't like to give up their lunch break for some cake and punch. So I couldn't help you because I had too much going on. But I got off the telephone and I sent some help your way, and she came to your office. And that was Miss Jennifer Robinson. And she was able to use her sources that she had as a result of being with our Mayor's Youth Council, help get you some donations, and you worked hard on that, and you put together a dynamic event for our city employees. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. It was so good to see that on the news for our city that night. And I must admit, I did get a call from Mayor Smith to say thank you for doing that and how he noticed that. So I want to say thank you. His son works for the city, and he was over there eating. Okay. Mr. Peters, will you take the podium for me? I want to say thank you so much. What I like about you, you are what I call a team player. To help out all of the department heads, Ms. Howard called you up. You and your personnel set that sportsplex up for everyone to visit. You were taking pictures. You made sure that it was video recorded. I just want to say thank you for all that you do. And that's not the first time that you've ever helped a department head. I can remember back in August when Chief Nichols had his, what was the name of that event that you had? Night Out on Crime? Yes, Night Out on Crime, how you and your staff were instrumental in assisting with that. I just thank you for all of the work that you do on behalf of the city. Thank you so much, Mr. Peters. Thank you. Ms. Robinson, if you will you stand? I noticed that you're over there. Ms. Jennifer Robinson. Thank you so much for assisting with our Employee Appreciation Day, for what you did, and going around, taking your time, some letters to many of the businesses here. And all of those businesses were listed on here. I just want to say thank you so much for what it was that you did for her. Thank you. Okay. Is former Alderman Mr. Rodney Lincoln present tonight? Okay. Mr. Lincoln, will you please come to the front? Just come on down. Okay. I want to thank you for your work as it relates to our methods that provides medical airport services from our city. Thank you so much. You were so instrumental in getting them here to our city. I want to say thank you for that. That produced a total of 19 jobs, I understand. Mr. Lincoln, thank you for your service to our city, and thank you for going above and beyond the call of duty to get those people here, and there are 19 personnel. Thank you so much. Okay.
They are here, and they made their first call last Friday to the person to flow.
Thank you,
So
sir.
everything's
Because prior to that, we didn't have it. Thank you so much, Alderman Lincoln. Okay. And I have two more. Department heads, if your name appears on the front of this document that is our agenda, will you please raise your hand? Fire chief, city clerk, everybody. I noticed that our fire chief is not here. And by no means, thank you all so much, am I going to call names, but I need your assistance on something that has been brought to my attention. I'm not the only board member that it has been brought to their attention. Some of you are not submitting your agenda items for the board meeting, for our agenda that comes out on Friday in a timely fashion. As a result of that, when we sometimes get our agenda, as one alderman expressed his concern about that at our last board meeting, it appears like documents are missing. That's because we have a physical copy and you all are not submitting the items in a timely fashion. So that means that some of our board agenda items are missing sometime. Please, our board has passed a motion that allows you to turn in that information by Wednesday. Anytime thereafter, it's a little bit late. And it kind of puts us in jeopardy because I want to make a decision based on all of the documents that I have before me. And if I'm missing those documents, that's not good because I could accidentally vote for something that I don't understand based on some documents that you've left out. Please submit your items to our executive assistant, Ms. Tammy Carlisle, in a timely manner. And that way, it will not appear that she's not doing what she's supposed to do because some of you all are. I requested, just as some proof to know what I was talking about, and I was tendered some information, and based on the time and the date of this, a couple of the people that are in here, and there are 3 of them, they didn't submit information on time, and it could get left out. I'm just asking, will you please adhere to your deadline, okay? And my last one, Mayor and members of the board, I want to thank Mr. Tony Rook of the director for our municipal court. Mr. Rook stated in an email to me on Friday that he has tendered $68,000 in delinquent fines to the municipal court services that collects our fines. And that again, Mayor and members of the board, is $68,000. And those fines had not been turned over to AMS in probably about 4 years. So I want to thank Mr. Rook, and I personally went by his office today and thanked him for starting that process. Mr. Mayor and members of the board, I yield at this time.
Further comments by the members of the board? Are there any further comments by the members of the board? Any further comments? Seeing none, we'll move to citizen comments. At this time, any citizen who wishes to make a comment may do so by coming forward, introducing yourself, and you'll be recognized to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes.
Hello. My name is LaKendria, and I'm with the Mayor's Youth Council. And we just
Your last name?
Oh, Young. Sorry, LaKendria Young. And we just wanted to say thank you for allowing us to be part of the Mayor's Youth Council. And I would like to give recognition to my members, so please stand. Thank you once again.
Excellent job, Ms. Young, and excellent job by the members of the Mayor's Youth Council as we prepare to wind down another year. I must say that you have, again, been a super class for the Mayor's Youth Council, and you are now the second class that has hosted the statewide Mayor's Youth Summit, and you did a fantastic job and made us very proud as a city. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ann Birchfield, and I'm here tonight to seek information how to make my neighborhood more safer. That's what I'm here for tonight.
Do you have any comments in particular? Where do you live?
I live on North Montgomery on Roundhouse Road, and it's been a lot of stuff going on in that area, and I just want to know if the chief of police, would he come through there and just ride through sometime every now and then to see what's going on, because I really want my neighborhood to be safe, and as of right now, the way I feel, it's not.
The chief and I will have a conversation tomorrow about things that can be done to make you
It's
feel
on
more
Roundhouse
safe in your
Road.
neighborhood.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you very much.
Mr. Mayor, may I be
You may.
recognized very briefly? Ms. Birchfield, good evening. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for coming in. Of course, if you always have any problem, I'm glad you came here tonight and see your board and your alderman in action here. And certainly, you're at liberty to call me anytime.
Okay.
And of course, that's no surprise to you. You've come to me before, and I think you even have my cell number. So that same number is active. So good you did what you did. But if you need my assistance at any time, just feel free. But the mayor and the chief will get in touch with you. If you need my assistance, you just give me a call. And of course, and as to your road, we discussed the road. You didn't ask about the road tonight. That road is still a private road, and and we discussed what you need to do for that to become a public road. When we took over that road, it was not designated as a public road. So, but that's not your issue tonight. So, but nevertheless, thank you for coming. And if I can be of assistance to you, just give me a call on my cell phone. If I don't answer, I may be in court. Just leave me a message. Mary, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Alvin Turner, Ward 7. I want to recognize Vice Mayor Perkins,
Yes, sir.
Alderman
Thank you.
Vaughn,
Thank you, Mr.
and
Turner.
Alderman Walker.
Thank you, Mr. Turner.
All right, I let Miss Ann came before I did because she contacted me. She's having a problem with people with pit bull dogs and stuff like that, and threats and stuff. And I'm glad that she called me so that we could try to do something for her. It's not right for you to be scared in your own house. We have 16th Section Road in Christ Street at the second intersection. We have a problem with hedges and stuff where you can't see, and people almost get hit. Or on that second intersection going out the Old West Point Road. And the road that goes through there by the mill is rough. People try to dodge the holes and stuff, and we still don't have no luck. That road is very rough, but as soon as you can, try to do something about it. It tears up people's cars and stuff. They wanted me to bring that to y'all attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Further citizen comments?
Thank you, Mayor, Board, for allowing me to come. My name is Steve Bardwell, and I'm here on behalf of my mother and other citizens who live in the Longstreet area. This involves a community risk project. I've spoken with Alderman, and he's been very cooperative, appreciated. But I understand projects like this do involve some cost, and the city does have priorities. You got to consider a lot of people. So that's the reason why I'm coming in this form, because we're asking for some type of traffic control measures, and we realize that costs are involved. And we, our family, on behalf of mother and the other family members, on the citizens rather, we are open to some type of cost sharing project. May I approach you all and pass this out?
You may.
I'll wait until everybody gets there so you see exactly what part of the street we're referring to. Okay. Again, we appreciate, I think, in the past there has been some efforts for traffic control in that part of the street, and we appreciate it. If you notice, that particular area right there near the intersection of Beatty Street, where traffic comes back and forth and people come in and out. And this is my mother, but I'm also speaking on behalf of some of the other people who live there. My mother and other people, she spent all 83 years of her life on Longstreet right there. I mean, she still works, she still visits people in the nursing home, she still shops, and we're proud of her. We want her to continue. And we realized when we first moved there, having to back out into the street was not that big of a deal, but it is now. And we're trying to be proactive. We are. But again, we realize that, hey, look, you got a whole city that you have to consider, and that's the reason why I wanted to come in this forum and let you know that we're open to some type of cost sharing, and if it came down to it where we had to pay for it, and we're taking care of things on our end. We got some things that we got to address, but we want her to continue, and other people who are, I won't say getting older, we'll say getting more seasoned, we want them to continue to be more active in the community. And she, like I say, she still works at age 83, and she 4 or 5 times a day she's coming out into that street. So again, thank you for everything that you've done. We know that's been on your agenda, and if there's anything you can consider, we do appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I have a few words. I noticed they put, what would you call them? Coming up the street up there in speed bumps.
Rubber strips.
But they are all tore up. They are all broke up.
Yeah.
And I wonder what was they put down with.
How long ago did we put the rumble strip?
Mr. Mayor,
down? Yes, sir.
probably about 4 months.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
really?
not looking at another solution for those.
No, they should hold up longer than that.
Yeah, it's the wear and the tear on the road that made a shift like that.
Well, we appreciate that effort, though. That's a good effort, though. We appreciate it.
See, they are running your tires on your cars because they broke up. And up by the funeral home across the highway from Longstreet there. That is stupid. I don't know whether anything can be done about it, but I thought I would bring it up.
Yes, so you are interested in traffic calming, particularly at the intersection of Beatty and Long?
Particularly right there, right? If you notice, there's a curve that comes off of Mel K, R82,
That S
another
curve.
curve.
Yep.
And I've noticed over time, the people, once they come out the curve, you know, I guess it's human nature, to kind of start to accelerate. We've already had a few close calls, a near miss there. Well, actually,
The city engineer has been out of the office the last couple of days. When he's back in the office, we'll have a conversation about what types of measures, in addition to repairing the rumble strips, may be appropriate.
and we really appreciate it.
Did you have something, Alderman Carver?
I guess my question was, if the speed bumps were repaired to their original condition, would that be satisfactory for y'all, or are y'all looking for some other type of traffic?
Additional, they are, I guess they are placed in a strategic place,
Right.
but they're not right there in that area that I indicated right there. And mind you, we don't expect you to adhere just to her needs. It's just, like I said, just an example, and we hope that many of our citizens continue to live well into their 80s and 90s and continue to be able to be productive and drive and work.
This is not my needs. This is for the whole long street,
Yes, ma'am.
for all of them. We have a whole lot of traffic.
Yes, ma'am.
And for those speed bumps, they're not right in front of mine. They in the curve by the Jesse Need's house and up by the funeral home and there. They all broke up. I wonder why they put them there like that. What are they put there with? What kind of material is there? That's what I meant.
But they're gonna address that.
Mr. Mayor, might be
So
right.
is any help could be done?
Mainly, they were put there to slow the traffic down. They were rumble strips that slow the traffic down, but the wear and tearing on the street have caused them, by the raining and the wear and tear on the street, had caused them to crumble like that. But like I said, we're in the process. We're looking at another form of strips to go in those locations.
And we do appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further citizen comments? Do we have any further citizen comments?
Hey, my name is Ashley Madison, and I'm the communications manager for EcoCar 3. I did bring some brochures, if it'd be okay after I got done, if I handed them out to you guys. So I wanted to just personally extend an invite to each and every one of you to come out to our facility and see and learn a little bit more about our project. We are with the Bagley College of Engineering at the university, and we're completely student-driven and student-run. And our ultimate goal is just to improve the automotive industry in the state of Mississippi. So we've already been fortunate enough to have Mayor Wiseman come out and see a little bit about what we're doing. But if any of you are interested, my contact information is in the brochure, and we'd be happy to have you out to our facility.
The tour took us about an hour. I would encourage all of you, make some time for about an hour to go through, see what's going on in our community. It's really, really impressive. And Ms. Madison, you may approach if you'd like to pass up the brochure.
Yeah, and it really is an incredible project. We're only one of 16 universities in all of North America that are getting to do this. So the fact that it's right here in Starkville is just really, it's really unique and fortunate, and I would encourage you all to come and learn a little bit more about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Further citizen comments? Do we have any further citizen comments this evening? Any further citizen comments? Any further citizen comments? Any further citizen comments? Seeing none, we'll now move to mayor's business. First matter before you is a consideration of approval of the statewide mutual aid compact, or SMAC agreement. This is the agreement that allows us to aid cities that need help, particularly after a natural disaster, and it also allows them to come to our assistance in the aftermath of a natural disaster. The document is prepared by the Oktibbeha County Emergency Management Coordinator. The city attorney has reviewed it, and it is consistent with the document that we've had in place for quite some time now. Motion has been made by Alderman Little to approve of the statewide mutual aid compact agreement as presented. Alderman Little, is that your motion?
It is.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter before you is a consideration of approval of entering into a professional services contract as approved by the city attorney with Golden Triangle Planning and Development District in an amount not to exceed $25,000 for administrative services related to the Starkville Sewer Banyan Road Force Main Project. Motion has been made by Alderman Little to approve of entering into a professional services contract as approved by the city attorney with Golden Triangle Planning and Development District in an amount not to exceed $25,000 for administrative services related to the Starkville Sewer Banyan Road Force Main Project as presented. Alderman Little, is that your motion? It is. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Discussion. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter you have before you is the consideration of continuing the public hearing originally scheduled for April 5th, 2016, to determine whether property at 100 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive is a menace to public health, safety, and welfare of the community pursuant to Mississippi Code 21-19-11 to the regular meeting of May 3rd, 2016. Now, this matter is on the agenda as a continuance tonight because notice was deficient to the property owners. However, a public hearing was noticed. So the city attorney has encouraged that we still call for any public comments since there was a public hearing that was noticed on this matter. Is there anyone that wishes to comment on that matter at this time? Is there anyone that wishes to comment? Anyone that wishes to comment?
Maybe recognize Mr.
You
Mayor.
may.
Mr. Mayor, it's going to be the last time we'll seek recognition tonight. Mr. Attorney, I'm going to make this motion, and hopefully this will meet your approval. And as the mayor alluded to, the notice was sufficient, and I'm going to make this motion where you would give all of meet the notice requirements, because there's some statutory requirements they have to be met under the statute, and a personal service, given the options that may be available to the board as to what the board may decide to do. So I offer a motion, Mr. Mayor, move that the public hearing originally scheduled for April 5, 2016 at 5:30 p.m. at the City Hall courtroom to determine whether the property at 100 Dr. Martin Luther King Drive is a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated 21-19-11 be continued to 5:30 p.m. at the City Hall courtroom during the board's regular meeting of May 3, 2016, and that the city attorney handle all of the notice requirements for that public hearing.
And Vice Mayor, have you reduced that to writing?
Yes, sir.
Motion has been read and it's been reduced to writing without objection. I will not ask for it to be reread. Seeing none, do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Perkins, you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir, Mr. Mayor.
Discussion. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter before you is an update on the Cornerstone Government Affairs contract. I will provide a summary of activity since you approved the contract. You approved the contract on February 16th, 2016. From February 17th through February 29th, the team at Cornerstone, which included Camille Scales-Young, Elliot Flaggs, and Joe Sims, did advance work on our request for a $2.4 million appropriation for the police project. The advance work that they did in those days included having a series of meetings with the staff of the Lieutenant Governor's office. The staff member that they met with was Lee Weiskopf. They also met with the Ways and Means Chair in the House of Representatives and the Finance Chair in the Senate. Those two positions are critical because those two positions deal most closely with the bond bill. While the bond bill is not the only avenue for potential funding, it would be the most traditional avenue for us to get funded in the project. In addition to meeting with the staff of the Lieutenant Governor's office and those committee chairs, they also did advance meetings with our local legislative delegation, including Senators Turner and Jackson and Representatives Ellis and Robertson. And finally, they prepared our legislative packet that I would present in my later meetings with our legislative delegation and the legislative leadership. From February 29th through March 10th, I had a series of meetings with many of those same parties that followed the advance work that was done by the Cornerstone team. The Cornerstone team did attend those meetings. Elliott Flaggs attended all of those meetings, and in some cases, Camille Scales-Young and or Joe Sims attended those meetings as well. Meetings I had included the meetings with Chairman Smith, Chairman Fillingane, Senator Turner, Senator Jackson, Representative Ellis, Representative Robertson. At that time, I presented the legislative packet that Cornerstone had prepared and made the requests for funding on the project. I also later met with Rebecca Staples, who is also in the Lieutenant Governor's office, joined by the Cornerstone team. From March 10th to present, I have continued to receive regular updates from the Cornerstone team as they have followed up with particularly those committee chairs, and they are actually this week pursuing another alternative avenue, which is the appropriations chairs in both the House and the Senate. In fact, I believe they may have had meetings today with the appropriations chairs. And the reason they're reaching out to the appropriations chairs is there's also a possibility that we could get some funding through state agency appropriations. Probably in our case, the most likely source would be the Department of Archives and History due to the historic nature of the project. So that is where we stand from February 16th until now. Discussion.
Thank you. Oh, I just said thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, the next matter before you is the consideration of approval to advertise for sealed bids for insurance coverage of the City of Starkville's property, automobile, physical damage, and equipment. Discussion. Motion has been made by Alderman Little to approve of the advertisement for sealed bids for insurance coverage of the city's property, automobile, physical damage, and equipment as presented. Alderman Little, is that your motion?
It is.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
I just say it's been about 3 years since we bid this out, and I think it's good business practice to get some more quotes to see where we stand and look, see what options are out there.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is request for approval of the lowest and best quote from Hester Fence. Discussion.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Walker to approve of the lowest and best quote from Hester Fence in an amount of $24,985 for security fencing needed at 320 Airport Road on airport property as presented. Alderman Walker, is that your motion?
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Walker, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda.
So moved.
Who made the motion? Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of a replacement automated weather observation system, computer, and external power supply in the amount of $6,617.95 as a sole source item as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for
So
approval.
moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of Airport Manager Rodney Lincoln traveling to Pine Mountain, Georgia to attend the Eastern Aviation Fuels Quality Control Training Class in the amount of $1,288 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Second.
The motion has been seconded by Alderman, was it Walker or Little? by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a discussion.
Same move.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of a street closing request by the Military Affairs Committee of the Greater Starkville Development Partnership to hold the 2016 Memorial Day commemoration event on May 30th, 2016, and have city participation with in-kind services as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has
Second.
been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a discussion and
Same
consideration.
move.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of EX 1601, an exception request by Golden Triangle Massage Therapy to allow modifications to an existing non-conforming sign at 302 Highway 12 West in a C2 zone with parcel number 102G-00-006.00 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Second. Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Alderman
I
Walker.
do have one question on this one, and this may be something that Mr. Sanders might be able to answer. Just looking at the attachment 3 in this, it looks like it's your standard pole sign with the signage at the top. In order to make that sign comply with the sign ordinance, would it just require that sign essentially being lowered significantly? So it'd either have to be on the basically on the ground and on a pedestal or a base.
Which is going to
I guess the one thing that that we're seeing more and more of are these signs that don't comply, and whether it's on Highway 182, which everybody, or Highway 12, which we've had repeatedly efforts to try to improve those corridors, but it seems like the sign ordinance is the first one where we say we're always looking for an exception there, and I wonder if that's something that we want to continue to do, and in a project like this, it seems like changing that sign isn't an overdue burden on the developer or the property owner here, and I think that's just something as we move forward that we need to take into consideration. If we want to change those two corridors in particularly, the low-hanging fruit is to start with the signs. They cost a lot less than the buildings. So at some point moving forward, we have to make a decision. Do we want a sign ordinance that is going to help change the character of those two corridors, or are we going to continue to let the same old apply there and continue to push that one little piece that could make a considerable aesthetic difference further down the road? So just something for us to consider as we move forward.
Alderman Little, then Alderman Carver.
I agree with Alderman Walker's comments on that. It seems like we continue to get asked for exceptions on the sign ordinance, and just winking at it and moving on. I had a sign blow down at my office about January of last year, and it was probably one of the first monument signs in Starkville about 20 years ago. And we were going back to replace it and went through Buddy's office, and it was about 8 inches too high. So we had to reduce the size a little bit to make it conform to the new ordinance. I didn't come up here asking for a variance. It cost us about $6,000 to get the sign put up. But that's part of it. And I think if we're going to have the sign ordinance, we need to begin enforcing it. Otherwise, we just need to toss it out the window because we're fooling ourselves. And I'm not going to support either one of the sign ordinance requests for that matter.
Alderman Carver.
What is the timeline and time frame for that sign ordinance? Isn't it still a few years down the road for them to be conforming with it?
2021.
Yeah, I was thinking so. So at what point, and since we're having this discussion, do we need to start enforcing that? Because really the date, I know the previous board set that date far enough in advance to basically give new tenants an opportunity to they're aware and informed, so they will construct their sign to conform, but then someone who, they can't be grandfathered in, correct?
Yeah, the reason this matter is before you is the staff does not have the authority to allow a sign that changes the dimension of an existing pole sign to go up. Now, the 2021 deadline is the time period where people with existing pole signs we'll have to bring those pole signs down and in conformity with the standard. So what the staff can and routinely does allow to happen, administratively to happen, is somebody can replace an existing pole sign with a new brand exactly in the existing cabinet of the previous pole sign, because that's considered a grandfathered use. Where this use is different is it's expanding the scope of the existing use, so that can only be accomplished by board order.
If this board will want to take directive and start, I guess, pushing the hand on the conformance issue with that, and 2021 is now, 5 years out, if y'all wanted to, would we go back and have to revisit that ordinance to, make, say, 3 years out that we really started not allowing these type of exceptions again, or would that be something that we would just wait till 2021, in your opinion, which would be the better way to address it, I guess?
Well, the ordinance does not allow currently any new pole signs to be added, and it does not allow for the scope of any existing pole sign to be expanded. So the question is one purely before you right now, and you've had it recently as well. The only way the scope of that sign it can be expanded is through direct board action.
Mr. Mayor, may I be recognized?
You may.
Mr. Mayor, I fully agree with the gentlemen from 3 and 4. We must have full enforcement of our sign ordinance. And we need to make sure we start doing that right now. I mean, I'm not agreeable to wait till 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, or 2017. I mean, the petitioners and applicants need to understand that this is the law of the city of Starkville. We get these requests for exception after exception after exception, and there's a reason why the board passed the ordinance, and there's a reason why it is written as it is. So I agree with the gentleman from 3, and I agree with them from 4. We need to have full compliance. And I'm going to respectfully request the staff to inform these people that they need to read the sign ordinance. And as far as I am concerned, there should be full compliance. So gentlemen from 4, thank you for your comments. 3, thank you for your comments. I'm not willing to grant any exception beyond tonight. I'm not going to agree to any exception. I mean, we need to stop this right now. So there's a reason for it. The gentleman from 4 articulated real well, and I agree with both of my colleagues. So, Mr. Mayor, I yield the floor.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Alderman Carver's motion, please signify by raising your hand and keep them high. All those opposed, please signify by raising your hand and keep them high. All those is that?
Mayor.
No, we're voting. You've got to vote yea, nay, or abstain. All those abstaining, please signify by raising your hand. You can be present but not voting. Do you wish not to vote?
No, I'm gonna vote.
All right, would you like to be, would you like, no, you've got to vote.
Can we have the
No,
motion read over? Some of it
You
I
have to
didn't
vote.
understand.
Okay, yes, I can clarify the motion.
That's what I wanted.
The motion is for approval of the exception. So if you vote yea, you are approving of the
I'm gonna withdraw
exception.
my second.
You're-
I'm withdrawing my second.
You can't withdraw your second.
Okay.
All right, so let's start over.
Start over.
All those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. All those opposed, please signify by raising your hand. All right, and it's a 3-3 tie. I will vote in favor. So by a vote of 3 in favor with 3 against, with the mayor breaking the tie, the motion carries and the exception is granted. The next matter before the board is the discussion and consideration of EX 1602, an exception by request by Starkville Area Habitat for Humanity to allow a non-conforming sign for Habitat for Humanity. Discussion.
Say move.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of EX 1602 an exception request by the City of Starkville Area Habitat for Humanity to allow a non-conforming sign to replace an existing non-conforming sign at 1632 Rock Hill Road in an R1 zone with parcel number 116-23-007.19 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Do I hear a second? Do I hear a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Alderman Carver.
I don't think that, to my fellow board members, I don't think this is the night to more or less penalize, Habitat for Humanity for, they put it on this agenda probably with the intention that it was going to pass and the date is so far out, but I would like to see, in the next board meeting or two, we'll have the sign ordinance revisited, because obviously this has stirred the conversation enough that we need to have that conversation and get more direct, and clear direction on the way we want to go with that. But I feel the board is a majority. I think I know how y'all feel, and if we're going to approve one and not approve the other, I think we're almost, penalizing Habitat for Humanity. But I think you will see the sign ordinance brought up within the next few meetings. So thank you.
Alderman Wynn.
Mayor, I guess what concerns me, it's amazing to me. If people come before us and they're lawyered up, it's a different tone. People come before us, they don't have attorneys with them to come before us, it's a different tone. We need to make up our minds what it is that we need to do. We allow some people to do what it is they please, and some people we don't. That concerns me. I yield the floor.
Further discussion?
Mr. Mayor, may I be recognized?
You may.
Mr. Sanders, any way we can stop these from coming to us? I mean, we got the ordinance out there. Is there any way we can stop this from coming to us? This got to stop. I know we approved one a couple months ago, and we said that we'll set a precedent. Right then, we said that now it's continuing.
The exception process is listed in the ordinance. However, I take direction from the board. The board gives me direction not to take an application of the city.
Mr. Mayor, we got to do something. We got to stop somewhere.
Mr. Mayor?
Alderman Little.
I agree with Alderman Vaughn, and Mr. Mayor, I hate that you voted the way you did on that matter. We've got to take a stand at some point. Either we've got the ordinance or we don't, in my opinion. And we've gotten lax on that, and it's this board's fault for allowing it. And I'm disappointed in that prior vote, the way it went. But I would not support this. I don't care if they've got 3 lawyers sitting there with them. We either got the ordinance or we don't. There's no exceptions to it. I yield the floor.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? If you take no action on this matter, there will be no exception. Any further discussion? Any further discussion?
May I be recognized?
You may.
This is actually for Habitat for Humanity. They do so much for our community and assist so many people. Alderman Carter, if you will you put that motion on the table again? I'm going to second it, and I want everybody in this crowd to see the alderman that voted against Habitat for Humanity that does so much for this community. If you put the motion on the table as you did before, I'll second it. I'm going to support this for Habitat for Humanity.
Well, I don't know about putting a motion on the table just to spite fellow board members, but I'm not sure what to do in this situation. I think that because it is on the table, we need to revisit it tonight. I will make a motion, and you can second it, and maybe we should give them that opportunity because they were on the table before we really started getting in depth with the sign discussion. However, the sign ordinance, I really thought that it was dead in the water till 2021 when we voted on it last time, but I think it's time to revisit it. Maybe Starkville's going through tremendous growth that we didn't see a few years ago. I think it's maybe growing faster than we envisioned a few years ago. So with that, I would like to move approval, Mayor.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of EX 16-02, an exception by request by Starkville Area Habitat for Humanity to allow a non-conforming sign to replace an existing non-conforming sign at 1632 Rock Hill Road in an R1 zone with parcel number 116-23-007.19 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
Looking at the schematics of this sign, this is not anything, if you know where this building is, it's offset off the road. I know each and everything, we look at government, you know, in this situation, you have to have an eye for, you know, aesthetics and things like this. This is a really nice sign. It's not something that sticks out on the road. This is actually just taking a building and making it more aesthetically pleasing. If you look through our e-packet, I mean, it's actually a pretty nice sign, so thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of Alderman Carver's motion, which is to grant the exception, please signify by raising your hand. All those opposed to Alderman Carver's motion, which is to grant the exception, please signify by raising your hand. The vote is again 3-3, which means I will again vote, and I will vote yea. So by a 3-3 tie, with the mayor breaking the tie in the affirmative, the motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, may we recognize?
You may.
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Sanders. Please don't bring this no more. Please. I don't want to see this no more.
Well, and that does raise an issue. The use by exception is an avenue that the applicant has. So absent changing the ordinance, and Mr. Sanders, are you confirming that there is a use by exception in the ordinance?
Yes, in the sign ordinance, yes.
So absent changing the ordinance, if that is written into the ordinance, Mr. Sanders cannot tell somebody that he can't present it to the board.
Well, okay, my vote will be nay next time from this point on.
Any further discussion on that matter? All right, seeing none, the next matter on the agenda is a...
Mr. Mayor, could we take a recess, please?
Yes, without objection, we'll move into 5-minute recess. Without objection. Meeting will now come back to order, and the city attorney has asked for the floor.
Board, I just wanted to make a distinction between the two items that we just had, the sign ordinance issues, and the 3 upcoming items, the landscape waiver and the 2 other setback variance requests. One of the issues with the sign ordinance is there is no objective criteria for the board to provide an exception. So that is in stark contrast to the landscape ordinance, which sets forth a very specific objective criteria, and the Board of Adjustment and Appeals when it comes to setbacks, same thing. The other difference is that when it comes to a landscape waiver or a setback waiver, they go to subcommittees that look at this, the Tree Advisory Board or the Board of Adjustment and Appeals, and they give you guys a concrete recommendation to act on. So whereas the sign ordinance doesn't have any objective criteria or subcommittee, these items do. So they are separate and distinct from a conceptualization standpoint. And the criteria is in the packet for the next 3 items.
The next matter on the agenda is a discussion and consideration of motion that's been made by Alderman Little to approve. Alderman Carver. Is it Carver?
Yes.
Alderman Carver to approve of LW 16-01, a landscape waiver request for the proposed new advanced collision repair building on the south side of Highway 12 West, 630 feet west of Gretel Lane, the parcel number 103I-00-006.00 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Second. Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Discussion. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is the discussion and consider. Motion has been made by, was it Carver? Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of VA 16-02, a variance request from the front and rear setback requirements of the proposed new advanced collision repair building on the south side of Highway 12 West, 630 feet west of Gretel Lane, with parcel number 103I-00-006.00 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Discussion. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is a discussion and consideration of VA 16-03, a variance request from the rear setback requirements for the proposed rear addition to a residence in an R1 zone located at 1779 Sandwedge Drive with the parcel number 106-23-002.07 as presented.
Move approval.
Motion has been made by Alderman Little to approve of VA 1603, a variance request from the rear setback requirements proposed by rear addition to a residence in an R1 zone located at 1779 Sandwedge Drive with parcel number 106-23-002.07 as presented. Alderman Little, is that your motion?
It is.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Walker. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda, motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of the travel request from Bill Jellison to travel to Hudson, Florida to attend the ICC Institute Training for Commercial Inspectors beginning April 18th through April 21st, 2016 at a total cost of $1,115 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir, I would like to say this. I know he's not here, but I'm just going to say this for public record. I get a lot of good comments. Our comments are getting better in this department over the 7 years I've been here. And Mr. Jellison in particular is someone, maybe he came from out of town, doesn't know who's who, and he seems to be fair and honest with all of his approaches with individuals. And I think that I see that from the development side now. They're saying that's fine as long as they're fair and honest up there and they know what they're getting when they get up here, and it seems to expedite the building process. So not just for him, but the department as a whole, it seems to be maybe flowing more smoothly, is what I hear from developers in town. So, thank you.
I would also like to point out that Mr. Johnson recently became a certified building official, which is not a rarity in the state, but it's not all that common.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter you have before you is a consideration.
Same move.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of spending up to $2,000 for 24 parking bumpers for the City Hall parking lot project as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda is request for approval to accept the lowest and best quote from Parking Solutions LLC in an amount of $3,650 for the city parking lot striping project.
Move approval.
Motion has been made by Alderman Vaughn to approve of accepting the lowest and best quote from Parking Solutions LLC in an amount of $3,650 for the city parking lot striping project as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Do I hear? Motion has been seconded by Alderman Carver. Alderman Vaughn, do you wish to speak on the matter?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes.
Mayor, I was going to ask, if there's nothing on here that's looking through here, I don't think anything left that's really contentious. Most of this is just general board business that's something we do on a weekly basis. Vice Mayor Perkins, would you be objected to any kind of consent agenda at this moment?
Vice Mayor, do you wish to field that question?
Objection.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
The next matter on the agenda is request for approval.
Same move.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of advertising for bids for the 2016 street overlay and striping project as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Little. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request for approval.
moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of the City of Starkville claims docket for all departments, including the Starkville Utilities Department, as of March 30th, 2016, for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2016, as presented. Alderman Carver, did your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by raising your hand. All those opposed, please signify by raising your hand. By a vote of 5 in favor with 1 against, this motion passes. The next matter on the motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of entering into a lease purchase agreement with Dell Financial in order to purchase new equipment as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter on the agenda. Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of the hire of Justin Butler, Michael Cooper, Aaron Hanahano, Princeton Henderson, and Colby Huffman to fill the positions of police officers in the Starkville Police Department, subject to a 1-year probationary period as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, you wish to speak on the merits?
Chief Nichols, is this something we've hired, 5 tonight and fixing to advertise for 5 more? That's probably what, a little over 10, 15% of your police force. Is this something we're losing positions from higher pay at other places, or can you give us some insight on that?
It's a little bit of all of it. If you remember, the board did approve to hire 5 additional officers. So that's that 5. And if you remember last year, we also had 2 officers that were that left kind of involuntarily. So we had to fill those positions. All right. I do have a resignation from one that we hired a few months ago. The excuse he gives me, well, not excuse, the reason he gives me is he took a job making over 6 figures in Tennessee. So I can't ask anybody not to take that job. I mean, prior to me hiring him, I talked to him about it. My staff talked to him about it. Make sure this is what you want to do, but you never know what you're going to get. We hire these guys. They do good interviews. They're educated. They come in and they figure out this ain't what I want. For the amount of money. Then you look at the amount of work we do. If you put MHP in this county, the Sheriff Department and Mississippi State Police Department, all their calls together, they don't equal out to what we do. And then we're making less money than these people. So, and not to mention the building. So I don't know, but the next item on the agenda is I have a guy that's going to be going deployed for 18 months. So rather than not have that position filled, I just figured we'll do it temporarily since that pay still going to be accruing. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, thank you for your insight. I guess there's nothing abnormal about any of this.
No, sir. If you go out on campus and talk to that chief, he's going to tell you the same thing.
Yeah.
He just filled 5 vacancies last week.
Yes. Thank you.
New generation is all I can say.
Mr. Mayor, may we recognize?
You may.
Mr. Mayor, Chief, I'm done with you. I just one comment I want to follow up behind the Chief of Police. He mentioned about the new building, Mr. Mayor, and so the legislature is scheduled to adjourn, I understand, about the 16th of April of 2016. So
I think that is their scheduled date, although I did recently see reference, it was in a news article, to the 24th. So they may go as late as the 24th.
So let's just say for discussion purposes that the legislature will be in session until at least May 1 of 2016.
They will definitely be adjourned by May 1.
So at our second meeting in May, Mr. Mayor, we should know whether or not we're going to get the money from the legislature for the project of the Starkville Police Department. So
that's correct.
I think that it's going to be a show and tell, in my opinion. And what I mean by that, by the second meeting of May of 2016, I think we need to have an agenda item to discuss funding for our Starkville Police Department renovation project. So that I'm going to encourage that we discuss it. I mean, we got down to the decision. If we do not have the money from the legislature, hopefully that they will give us the money and the total amount or a portion of the amount if they don't give the total. But if we want this project to go forward, I brought this up because the chief mentioned about the building, and so we need to be in a position to make that decision. We have had some very extensive and involved discussions about a police department for the Stark Police Department. I'm not able to put it to there. So, and I can make the decision right now if I had to. So, I mean, it's just a matter of doing what needs to be done. So, and the options are going to be very limited, Mr. Mayor, if we do not get the fund from the legislature. And basically, we're going to be down to one option, in my opinion. So that's where it's going to be. So I think we need to, that matter, of course, I'm not requesting it, but I'm saying the board, in my opinion, needs to at least discuss it, at least by the second meeting in May, if we do not hear from the legislature, maybe as early as the first meeting in May. But whatever you want, Mr. Mayor, whichever one you want to bring it, but I think at least one of the meetings in May, we need to have that discussion. The board needs to go on record, including the vice mayor, and need to have a roll call, how we want to vote. We need to vote on it and get it done, because I think it's mentioned that the construction needs to get started around June or July, and it's going to take some green stamps to start the construction. So I yield, Mr. Mayor.
Further discussion? All right, the next matter on the agenda. Oh, what have we, do I have a motion pending?
Second.
Oh, wait. All right, okay, so I've got a pending motion. All right. Further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter on the, did I hear a motion?
Yes, sir.
All right, the Alderman Carver's made a motion to approve of the advertisement for a temporary full-time certified police officer and a certified police officer in the Starkville Police Department as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request for approval to advertise in the Northeast Daily Journal to fill the vacant position of foreman in the street department.
So move.
Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of advertising in the Northeast Daily Journal to fill the vacant position of foreman in the street department as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Walker. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda, motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of the advertisement to fill the vacant position of firefighter in the fire department as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Next matter before you, motion has been made by Alderman Carver to approve of sending Corporal Josh Wilson and Corporal Scott Lomax to the Mississippi Delta Law Enforcement Training Academy in Moorhead, Mississippi for the purpose of emergency vehicle operators instructor course May 1st through 6th, 2016, at a total cost of $1,861 as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter before you is the consideration of approval to purchase 420.
So moved.
Motion has been made by Alderman Walker to approve of purchasing 425 two-wheel recycling carts from Toter in the amount of $22,919.82 as presented. Alderman Walker, is that your motion?
Yes.
Do we hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Walker, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Saying none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please signify by saying nay.
Nay.
by a vote of 5 in favor with 1 against, and I have Perkins as the person against. The matter passes. The next matter, motion has been made by Alderman Carver to authorize Starkville Utilities payment for emergency repair of well number 7's motor in the amount of $14,428 per Mississippi Code, Section 31-7-13, as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda, motion has been made by Alderman Carver to authorize or Starkville Utilities to accept the lowest and best of 7 evaluated bids submitted by RG3 Utilities LLC for water meter replacement and AMI installation services, and authorization for the mayor to sign any required documents related to the scope of work as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. The next matter on the agenda is a request. Motion has been made by Alderman Carver to authorize Shasta Plunkett to travel to Meridian, Mississippi to attend TVPPA substation maintenance training session April 19th through 21st, 2016. For a total cost not to exceed $1,500 with advanced travel as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. The next matter on the agenda is a request for motion has been made by Alderman Carver to authorize Starkville Utilities to participate with TVA and eSource in conducting a customer service or customer satisfaction survey as presented. Alderman Carver, is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion has been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Carver, do you wish to speak on the merits?
You did good, Mayor.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. Do you have anything for executive session? All right, city attorney has a matter for your potential consideration in executive session.
Move on to closed session.
Motion has been made by Alderman Little to go into closed session to determine whether there is a need for an executive session. Alderman Little, is that your motion? Do I hear a second? Motion has been seconded by Alderman Nguyen. Alderman Little, do you wish to speak on the merits?
No, sir.
Any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Motion clearly passes. This time, I'll ask the public vacate the premises so the board can begin closed session deliberation.
We haven't divvied up, as far as I know, see if we did, they just said the PowerPoint looked okay, and I looked at it like, oh, it looks fine to me.
The board opted not to go into executive session. A motion to recess is in order.
Mr. Mayor, I move that this board stand in recess until the 19th day of April 2016 at 5:30 in this boardroom.
Motion has been made by Alderman Perkins to recess till April 19, 2016, 5:30 in the courtroom at City Hall located at 110 West Main Street. Is that your motion?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a second? Second. Motion been seconded by Alderman Vaughn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Hey, buddy, can you stay with me and Jason Powell about that presentation that we got to make tomorrow?
Is that 7:30 in the morning?